talk about, yeah. Sing, yeah, 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 yeah. Sing, yeah, 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 yeah. It ain't easy, no. It ain't easy. Right. No, 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 no. I'm fighting. I'm fighting until my mind has an explosion, trying to find a resolution. I'm fighting until my mind has an explosion, trying to find a resolution.
This couldn't happen again. This is that one.
Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. How's everybody doing? Red across the board. Crypto stocks. We're going to talk about what's going on. Tomorrow we have CPI numbers. I think at 8:30 is when they usually are. We can take a look. 1 second. Let me check my mic too. Let me switch my mic. Alright, this should be better. Maybe a little bit loud. Okay. What was I just gonna look at? I completely forgot. Oh, CPI. So tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. I think that's Eastern time. We're gonna get CPI numbers. We're gonna see what they look like. All right, it's gonna be a big day. Market can react in either direction. I don't know the future. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens tomorrow. We're gonna start off with Bitcoin crypto, new crypto swing idea. Like the last 4 crypto alerts, all were winning trades over a 10-15% profit. If you want these, they're all free. Link is in the Discord. Let me see. Bitcoin, this was a winning trade. BNT was a winning trade. COMP was a winning trade. Tezos was a winning trade. COMP was actually at 50% in 2 weeks. And then this is a new one. Not off to a great start, but it's a pretty volatile name. And Bitcoin did decide to drop 6% today. We're safe for Bitcoin in a while, it seems. And I shared a tweet earlier, but Bitcoin is pretty much testing. I mean, if you're charting this low to these lows, it's testing a breakdown of this larger bear flag structure. I'm going to actually delete this first box because we already got the first target on the Bitcoin trade setup. You could anchor 1 second. You could anchor this on Bitcoin, but it's only one little wick. I think this looks a little bit better. You got 2 different touches there, and based on the close, you actually broke down. And if we go over to higher time frames, let me skip that song. If we go over to higher time frames, this is where it gets a little bit just weird looking, just not the type of momentum you want to see. I mean, somebody tweeted me about this head and shoulders earlier today. it's like, you know, I think we already talked about this in the past when we were like down over here where we never broke down. But it's like you just kind of bounced off the neckline and now you're just making like a bear flag, sorry. And you're not able to break above these highs, right? So it's like, I don't know, it's just not the most bullish looking structure. I wouldn't say it's like insanely bearish, but it's just, the guy saying gotta catch a flight, everyone behave. I don't know where you're going, but I hope you have a good time. So yeah, one thing I will say, like, I don't know, maybe this saves Bitcoin. It has the potential for hidden bullish diversions. It's not even developing, so it doesn't really mean much yet, but there's that as well. So we'll see. You know, the Bitcoin trade setup just gave a 20% profit, or I think it was a 17% profit when I marked the green on the sheet. And we just gotta wait to see what's next. That's really it for Bitcoin. In terms of like the other like trades, like same thing. Like they all pretty much hit their targets. Now they're pulling back. You know, unfortunately, they didn't really get to the second, third, fourth targets, but they did hit those first targets very nicely. I don't know, maybe they will at some point, but there's really not much of like an update I can do. It really just depends on Bitcoin. However, there is a new crypto alert that I alerted today, which is Deso. Sorry for mispronouncing that. But I've been looking into this project. I spent like 2 hours like watching videos on this last night, and I've known about this and I've tweeted about this like probably 5 or 6 months ago, but I never really did like a deep dive. But I'm starting to learn a little bit more about like Web3 and NFTs. Also, I don't know, whoever was watching the CryptoPunk stream from last week, I'm actually up pretty nicely on one of the other things on that marketplace. Again, I'm not trying to like tell you to do anything. You do whatever you want. I'm just having fun learning about new different space or different markets and stuff like that. But I'm up like, I think like 130, 140% on like one of the, it's not the CryptoPunk, it's something else that I got, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about liquid marketplace later. Also, speaking of that, should we go into it? I don't know. I'm gonna not go into it, but if you are following Logan Paul, he did reveal that he's dropping a trailer for something this week, and there's articles online about what it could be. I gave some updates on like YouTube posts over the weekend for like that video I made like last fall. I'm not gonna really talk about it on stream. I don't really want to like ruin surprises or anything, so I'll just leave it as like I shared the article, which was already online, and I just don't want to kind of go up. I don't want to kind of reveal other people's surprises, I guess. The guy says I'm up 300% on ClownPunk. That's great to know. But this is completely different. This is Deso, all right, Web3, and I forget the guy's name. I watched like a 1 hour podcast. Again, I'm not trying to show this. I am not paid by anybody. Nobody pays me to talk about any platforms or anything. I don't have sponsors. These are just things that look interesting to me. But yeah, social media without all the control and well, it's decentralized. So you just have a nice little area where you could see a lot of projects like this starting to appear. This is only one of a few that I'm keeping an eye on, and this is something I want to start talking about a little bit more on the stream, but I'm still just trying to educate myself first. I don't like speaking on things until I get more educated about them. But basically it could be a little bit tough to implement like the amount of data you need for social media with all of the posts onto the blockchain. It's not it's expensive and you need a lot of devs, and this project in my opinion has done a lot of work to kind of implement the infrastructure you'd like to see to build it out. It's still in a very early phase. They even have a DAO platform they're launching called like DAO, which is just DAO twice. But if you go to my Twitter, I linked like a couple of videos on this stuff last night. You can go check that out at Champion Bob. I don't want to go too much into it. I like just sticking to the charts on this stream. Every once in a while I'll talk about stuff like this, and maybe at some point in the next few weeks I will do like a more deep dive into this. But for right now we're just going to talk about the charts, but this is not financial advice. I just thought it's a cool project, and then I looked at the chart. It is listed on TradingView. It wasn't listed on TradingView, I believe, the last time I was like keeping an eye on it. And I noticed two different things. I mean, we could just start with like the daily on this. First of all, this is in a very volatile place. You could see it's having these crazy, down 20%, up and down 20% on the same candle. Even yesterday, it had like a 30% high, low to high. Like almost every single day, it's making these crazy moves. So there's a lot of volatility within this one. I threw the stop not only under these swing lows, right, but also under this. You can see this previous resistance level at 36.21. I even threw the stop under that just in case it decides to flip that into a support. So I noticed that there's two different supports. If it somehow breaks both of them, then it's going to get stopped out. But there's two different areas. So far, it's bouncing off of the first support. But even if that doesn't hold, I gave it another support. So that's about a 16% stop for this crypto swing. The first target, I put it a little bit above this high. I kind of lined it up a little bit closer to not this one. It's a little bit, the target's actually above both of these highs. If you want, you can just take profits if it gets up there. I mean, you do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. But I kind of aligned a little bit right under this wick, and also this 51.62 level is what I'm kind of focusing on a little bit more here. And yeah, it's very choppy. This is not like the most filled out chart, but I did notice this wedge, the 4-hour classic bullish divergence is kind of already over, but on the daily you do have, it was developing earlier today before it dropped and Bitcoin fell, but you have some potential hidden bullish divergence. So that's the new crypto swing. We'll see what happens. The last 4 of them were winning trades. So this one's like, we'll see what happens. Look into the project, do your own research, form your own opinions. You don't have to agree with me. Remember that. You could be on the opposite. You can have an opposite opinion as me with any stock, crypto. I don't care. As long as we both end up making money long term, I'm happy. All right. So that's really it for crypto. Also, apart from that, if any of you remember OMI, I was talking about it. Where was I talking about OMI? It must have been, I think it was in like this area. I know it was January when was January? It had like a crazy run. Yes, like this whole entire area I was talking about. We had a nice little like move in January, and then it kind of really fell down. And all this is turning into this super large bullish spat. I used to talk about this almost every night on stream. Then when it broke down from this range, I told you I was going to stop talking about it until there was like new formations. Now it's getting closer to a bullish spat. We'll see what happens. And then finally, Ethereum. We talked about, I mean, this one, step by step. We talked about the breakout. It broke above like that 3,300 zone. We talked about the 200-day moving average. And then last week, I was talking about the rejection of that area. And now you're starting to see a pullback for Ethereum. So those are your cryptos. Moving on to some other markets, we have crude oil futures. This was another one I told you all last week that this broke down. It created this triangle ever since the beginning or the middle of February. And we talked about the breakdown. Literally the day it broke down last week, you're getting some faulty price action and a bearish engulfing candle today. For futures, using $98 as resistance, looking a little bit bearish to me here. But it is actually on lower time frames creating some variables that are interesting. Such as some 4-hour classic bullish divergence that's confirmed, maybe even a little bit of a wedge forming here. So it might be flipping a little bit. I mean, it's got a little bit of a level over here as well, as you can see from these lows over here and a couple of these highs. We'll see what happens. Apart from that, the Hang Seng Index is breaking down from this broadening pattern I showed you all last week. So you have a breakdown and a gap fill around 20,044. We'll see if that fills or not. Moving on to some metals. Oh my gosh. This is very interesting, okay? Silver broke out of this blue resistance, fell under it, but only for one day, okay? Only for one day over here to get a bullish pin bar right off the 200-day moving average. Then it looked like it was failing again. And we actually, I mean, this kind of did trick me a little bit. It looked like it was breaking back down, and I did talk about that. But now it's springing back above not only resistance, this blue zone, but out of this wedge with hidden bullish divergence. That is a very interesting formation for silver. Keep a very close eye on this, okay? And let's take a look at its brother, cousin, whatever you want to call it, gold. This one I was a lot more confident in. I told you I think gold looked better than silver last week, and this has also got some hidden bullish divergence. Most people don't care about this stuff, but you can. Let me not. You could if you want to, if you wanted to. I'm not telling you what to do, but you could if you wanted to. You have the ability. Most people have the ability to trade ETFs of things like gold and silver. And if you did off the back test, you'd probably be up pretty nicely. That's not financial advice. I'm just saying it's accessible. Whether you want to access it or not, it's up to you. But you're starting to see this double bottom formation on gold, this hidden bullish divergence, large price rejection to the downside, 2 different hammers. We already talked about this in the past. These are the things, like, even if you don't care about gold or silver, start looking at these charts and learning from these charts if you want to be successful in technical analysis, okay? And all of the the context behind that is amazing as well. You're backtesting previous resistance as support, okay? Then the dollar, another one, right? It had a range. We talked about the breakout. We talked about the break, hook, and go. It's moving higher. You cannot be surprised. That's literally it for the dollar. And those are some other markets. We can talk a little bit more about stocks, of course, CPI numbers tomorrow morning, like I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to try and give you a prediction. I don't know. That's not my job. I just wait till the numbers come out and I see how the market. So basically, for these large catalyst news-driven events, I'm not in the business of trying to predict and pretty much gamble based on what I'm just guessing what the number is going to be. I'm in the business of seeing the news, seeing how other people are reacting to the news, and then reacting to those people. That's what I do, okay? So it might sound like I'm very late, but I wait for the data, okay? I don't just kind of throw a dart at a board and hope it's a bullseye. I wait until I see the odds, all right? And we'll see what happens, right? Everything's just a probability. You can interpret CPI however you want to. All I care about is the technical variables that are given to me based on the reaction to the CPI numbers from market participants, right? The guy saying SPY up or down tomorrow. I need to know, bro. The SPY will be up and down and sideways at some points during tomorrow. Now, financial advice. Okay, so where are we at now for the S&P 500? What is the market looking like from a technical standpoint? Well, today was just a gap down and sell off all day type of day. I was pretty 50-50 coming into today. I didn't really have a bias, but once we did gap down, it was pretty clear to me that so the first first hour of the day, we were just testing this level. I did share this in the Discord, right? We were just testing our lows from last week, and it was just very, very weak price action. Very weak price action to me. The volume was not looking good. The candles, during the candles, I was seeing a lot more upside rejection than downside rejection. And it just wasn't looking good to me. And also on this first 15-minute candle of the day, you already gave up those lows. So you were just kind of back testing these lows as resistance at that point. And I didn't want to, so believe it or not, I actually, right at the open, not right at the open, but very close to the open, I played calls. And literally my idea behind calls was it was at a make or break area. If it did work out and it ran up to fill the gap, it would have had a huge trade. They were 0 day till expiration. And if it broke down, I don't care at all. It's a very, very small loss. Well, it broke down and I took a very, very small loss in those calls. But once it broke down, I didn't hop right into puts. I waited a little bit to get a little bit more confirmation. Actually, I don't even remember, but I alerted puts. I'm gonna get to that part in a second. But basically, I played calls right off the open, and I immediately I flipped. I was like, all right, I'm just playing these calls for reward to risk. But then the edge actually turned to bearish to me, so I got out of my calls for a small loss, and then I switched over to puts. And just a summary, my puts made more money than my calls lost. But I also alerted puts in premium today before it even really broke down. So we had this first candle, which we already took out these lows, and pretty much over here, before we actually flushed down again, I alerted puts in premium. Those puts went up 200, 300%. I actually don't even remember the max profit, but I could check really quickly. Max profit was it 200? I think yeah, it was 250%, 250% was the max profit. I'll show you all the trade in a second. But yeah, literally before it even broke down, right? And it was right over here, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of people going long and going short just because it was that make or break area. But I was, even before the breakdown, I could have waited for the breakdown just to alert the puts, but I did it beforehand. Again, these candles were just looking bearish to me. And I'm gonna go show you all that. So 10 o'clock at morning, all right, AM at morning, that's definitely what it means. And yeah, 443 puts. Let's take a look for the 10 o'clock candle. That was right here. So before it even broke down, this was the exact candle that it puts at, and then just 10-15 minutes later, the sell-off begun for the rest of the day. So it was pretty easy. I think it actually went down to one of the levels I charted. It even went a little bit lower. I was looking for 441 intraday, went all the way down to 439.39. Wow. So yeah, I mean that was basically it. I saw the range breakdown even before it happened. Shared the puts. You could see how they did. And then also I will talk about MULN in a little bit. But nice start to the week for options. Not nice start to the week for swings. We'll talk about the swings as well. But let me keep going with the market. So in terms of the variables right now, pretty bearish on the daily. I just don't see any bullish anything on the daily. I think you also broke some big key moving averages. Definitely did not break the 100. I mean, I don't know actually. You didn't even like, you weren't even above that. Never mind. The 50 is what I was trying to look for. Yeah, so you closed under the 50 moving average. You also gapped under a bunch of different EMAs. I think I have wrong one. I got the 5 and the 10 right over here. You gapped under both of those. 200-day moving average. You were pretty much testing these huge levels going into the close last week, and you just gapped way under them today. So you gave up those levels for sure, which is not a great sign. You MACD flipped to right, which we talked about last week. And on the 4-hour, you also gave up another level. Like, why? This is a level I thought could at least hold around 441, and I'll show you why. You got a bunch of different highs and lows here, and it just kind of flushed right through this level. So I guess there's just some panic selling into CPI tomorrow for the SPY. You do have the potential for 4-hour hidden bullish divergence as long as you make a higher low above like 417. I do think eventually this will confirm. We will see. And then for the 1 hour, you're kind of just back testing still selling. So we'll see what happens. Still not much of like a strong edge for either direction. We'll just see what how the market reacts. Moving on to small caps, the Russell is still just trying to flip this previous supply line into a demand line. That's literally it for right now. We'll see what happens. Long term, hopefully it just holds above 188. The QQQ is falling back into a zone. It was highs over here and a low over here. It's entering this zone. You could see some support here between 334 and 342. Very similar to the QQQ. You have the NASDAQ, which is dumping. Wow. And also, I forgot to mention this on the SPY, but you also could get these inverse head and shoulder structures if we start bottoming out within the next couple of days. So you'll probably see me talk more about that if we do start curling back up. It means nothing until we do start curling, though. And then finally, the ARK ETF. I mean, this resistance was pinpointed on stream literally at the top last week at the double top. And it actually also broke the 61 support. It held it Friday, broke it today. You have a gap fill around $55 on ARK. Maybe those leaps. I was waiting to get leaps like right over here. Maybe those leaps I never got because it was like 1 day off. Maybe I can start looking into them again. I don't know. But that's the overall market. Semis were down quite a bit today. AMD broke a key level that almost everybody was watching going into this week. I was seeing everybody tweeting about it. So it's in the weekly watch list, just to, not as like a bullish, but I literally said like just to see how it reacts to this level. It gapped under a huge level. This is like the biggest level, $100 or 99.33 on AMD. It's under this level, so that's very interesting. I want to see how it continues to develop throughout the week. I mean, if you zoom out, it's just not. It's not like a perfect head and shoulders, but you can see it's like very. It's like kind of similar to Bitcoin. Like the momentum has just shifted, as Mitch Ray would say. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But under $100, I'm not a fan of AMD. Gets it back above it, we'll talk. But under it, I don't know. And the crazy part was it was looking a lot better to me not even that long ago. It had just broken above the 200-day and the supply line, and I just don't know what happened. And then very similarly, NVIDIA, ever since it had this bearish engulfing candle and broke back under resistance, just been dumping. Got some support around 209 in NVIDIA. We'll see what happens. That's literally it. Apart from that, I mean, keep going. Tesla. How many streams in the past 2 weeks have I told you all that I'm bearish on Tesla? I started saying it like over here before it even really topped out. Like over here. So yeah, the bearish shark is continuing to play out. Maybe a little bit of support around like 940-ish. We'll see what happens. 940, 950, somewhere in that range for Tesla. I'm gonna get into the swings in a second. I'm just going through like the rest of my watch list. Twitter today was up 2%. This, I don't know what happened. I believe Elon has decided not to go or to be on the board. Twitter actually broke down from this level last Friday, and there was it Friday that I alerted puts? I don't know. I think it had to be, yeah. But actually today it got back above it and held it, which was pretty interesting. What else? GameStop was up 0.5% today. Testing this little support over here at 144.5. Let's see how this looks on the 1 hour. Still just kind of in this wedge, and actually GameStop might have had a very quiet end of day breakout with triple classic bullish divergence. Very interesting. Let me move this up on the watch list for tomorrow. So we'll see what this looks like tomorrow night. Anything else? All right, I guess we can get into the swings now, which are not doing well. I mean, today, the only like swings that really haven't been marked green on the sheet as of right now are Penn and AMC, and both of those were green today. But the sheet doesn't look green because they're overall down. Yeah, Penn, this is hanging on by a thread. We had a very nice amount of swings in the last few weeks, hit targets, well, apart from last week, which is pretty bad. And now there's just a few swings that didn't end up making the moves up to their targets that are kind of suffering. I mean, AMC was a recent alert, to be fair. So Penn is testing its major level, in my opinion. I mean, look at these previous highs. This is the area where I want Penn to bounce. You could actually get classic bullish divergence if it does. Bullish engulfing candle, I mean, very close to bullish engulfing candle on Penn. If you zoom out, could be considered the double bottom at this chart PCC. This is the area I want Penn to bottom. I don't know if it will bottom here, but it's the area I want it to. Okay. And then AMC was up a few percent today. It was up, it was down, it ended up closing above the stop. Not much of anything too crazy. You could get hidden bullish divergence here if it starts like really pivoting. Definitely have some on the 4 hour. Nice little 4 hour engulfing, but I want to see it get back above this blue zone. Come on, AMC. I thought it was going to hold it, and it just didn't, which is why you cannot use technicals without risk management. But I did get oversold. You've got the 1 hour classic bullish divergence here. We shall see what happens on AMC. In terms of swings that were already marked green on the sheet, Fisker, there's really not much to update on the daily. It's just kind of retesting this previous level that I keep talking about, this blue zone. It's a very big level, highs and lows from the past. It's retesting it. All right, we're going to see what happens. It's kind of between like 12 and 1275. I could actually, I probably move this down a little bit. Let's see if I can do it right now. Where is it? I wish I could just like drag it down anywhere. Like, why can't I just? It's going to take forever to do this. I need to do like coordinates. All right, there we go. Kind of like that. That's a little bit better. So Fisker's retesting this zone. Kind of like potentially like class B triple hidden bullish divergence. I know it sounds like a lot of different weird things. So basically you're making about the same lows on price, and then you're making these lower lows in the MACD. So you are getting some form of divergence. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. That's really it. Neo, this one, I mean, I marked this green on the sheet on this day, literally the top. It was the highest part of the trade. Hopefully that helped. In terms of Neo in general, hopefully it can just bounce at these areas. I mean, it did have a nice intraday bounce. Facebook as well. This was marked green on the sheet on the highest day of the swing. Hopefully those alerts in the Discord helped. If you're not in the Discord, links in the description. Facebook's now testing a breakdown of the 218 level. So again, these were all marked green on the sheet. Now they've been pulling back for the past week or two. You really can't be surprised. One name to keep an eye on, after it already hit the first target for a 33% gain, take a look at SDC, now developing some hidden bullish divergence on the MACD, and a bullish engulfing candle today for Smile Direct Club. That's pretty interesting. All right, so those are the swings. We shall see what happens. I never looked at the US 10-year today. This, oh my gosh, is getting even closer to 3. Did I not talk about this breakout and how real it was? Okay, we did talk about it. This was the major breakout. And I told you when we broke above 2%, there wasn't much till 2.5. Did I think we'd go right up to 2.8? No. But, 2.5 was definitely a potential, but wow. Since this breakout, it's literally been straight up for the US 10-year. This is actually insane. And the next resistance zone is kind of like between 2.9 and 3.2. Okay, so you are approaching that, but like if we zoom out even more, this is like a massive, wow, this is crazy. It's like a massive right angle descending broadening wedge. A little bit scary, but it's been running a lot. I do think it will cool down, pull back at some point. The only question is where. Haven't looked at the VIX either. This, we talked about how it broke back over the 200-day moving average. Oh, also this. Who remembers this from stream last week when I talked about this dragging pattern? You could see that playing out beautifully. So that's pretty much everything. All right, that's going to be it for tonight, most likely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching the replay. Hit the like button. This might be the first time in like months we've gotten only 10 likes on the stream. I don't know what's happened. It might just be my schedule is inconsistent. The market's bad again. It really does kind of suck. But get those vibes up, hit the like button if you're still enjoying the content. I'm going to be making some new content probably in the next couple of months. Apart from the streams, I have a couple of ideas, such as like trader interviews and some more like videos on like projects, like how I was talking about Deso earlier, maybe some others. So I want to start getting into stuff like that a little bit. I don't know, maybe technicals are just not really super fun for a lot of people. I feel like, you know, this first quarter of the year was just not great for most people. It wasn't great for me. So, I mean, I was even looking like on Twitter and stuff, like so many hedge funds and just large funds posted massive losses for Q1, like down 20% on the quarter. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So I just feel like, I don't know, just and I think for me, it's like this stuff, it's like these things come and go, but it's just weird because I'm also a trader myself. So I get how you all feel, but at the same time, it's like also streaming. It's like I kind of have to like deal with it like twice, like just the low vibes. I don't know, but you know, I'm still always showing up, so hopefully you appreciate that. I mean, literally like double the likes in like 5 seconds. So all of you are just trying to make me rant, I guess. I don't know, but tomorrow night we're gonna be doing a giveaway. Okay, somebody from the free trading movement community reached out and wants to gift, I believe, 3 premium memberships to you guys. So to anybody who's not in premium, I don't know if he wants me, I don't think he wants me to say his name, but he might actually be on the stream tomorrow night, and I'll like be talking to him, I think. But even if he's not, we're going to be doing the giveaway. He wants to give away 3 premium subscriptions, and then also he asked me to match him, so I matched him, so it's going to be 6. All right. So anybody who's not in premium, and you know, especially in times when the swings aren't as great, you know, the options have still been crushing. I mean, this is what, like the 21st, 22nd green week in a row for option trades or option alerts in premium. It's been crazy. We had a couple of weeks where it was a little bit, I mean, the beginning of last week was pretty rough, but I kind of turned up at the end of the week. We'll see, but yeah. All right. Big opportunity. Watch. I'm going to do it live tomorrow night on the stream. If you're not in the stream tomorrow night, can't help you. All right. I'm going to try and go live at 8:30 EST. We're planning on doing the giveaway around 8:45 EST tomorrow night. Okay. 8:45 EST. Yeah, it's for non-premium members, anybody who's in the Discord or just watching the stream or through Twitter that's not in premium. You have a chance tomorrow night. All you gotta do is show up to the stream. Basically what I'm probably going to be doing is I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to give you like a 30-second window in the chat to type in like your Discord name, and then I'm going to copy and paste all those names into like a wheel spinner like online, and we're the first 6 people to win I'll reach out to on Discord, and you'll get a free month of premium. Okay, so I don't think there's ever been a giveaway for 6 people at the same time for premium. So yeah, tomorrow night, okay, 8:45 EST will be probably when we start talking about it and stuff, but it's probably not gonna be right at 8:45 EST, because I know everybody's just gonna show up for 30 seconds, drop their Discord name and leave. It's gonna be a little bit random, all right? But we'll see. Shout out to the person again. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but yeah, 6 premium monthlies are gonna be given away tomorrow night on stream, so be there, okay? And regardless, join the Discord. The link is in the description. Watch the free course. And yeah, thank you. The guy says, I'm canceling premium so I can enter the giveaway. Good luck, you know, because you're going to have a 6 out of whatever probability. And also, I think you're like really like heavily grandfathered in. Like there's probably been 2 or 3 price raises after. Yeah, anybody, I'm sorry, but like, you know, if you're grandfathered in, not financial advice, but if you leave to try and get the giveaway and you don't get it, you're not getting your grandfathered back. I just can't. It would not be fair to the new people signing up and just how I did the price raises over the last year, you know? All right. Or to the people who were signed up. I don't know. You get the point. Have a great night. Thank you for watching the stream. I'm excited to do the giveaway tomorrow. Hopefully you all give it a shot. Oh my gosh. I can't leave. The title of the stream, okay? The ticker I was talking about all day on Twitter today, the ticker I alerted as an option trade, the ticker I put out a swing alert on, I forgot to talk about. Like, really? Thank you, Corey, oh my gosh. Thank you, Corey, for mentioning in the chat. And the reason for this, let me show you. So MULN is right over here, right under the market, because this is what I was mainly looking at today. And the rest of my swings, let me go away for a second so I don't show the premium ones. The rest of my swings are down here and they're labeled in purple. So when I was going over the swings, MULN was just not with them. But yeah, we have to talk about MULN. All right, so stream's not over, I guess. Let me mark that purple actually so I don't forget again tomorrow night. All right, MULN, I'm gonna start with like the J trade recap, and then I'm gonna talk about the swing. But yeah, MULN, I'm gonna be honest, like it's not often that like I see a very crowded ticker and I'm like, interesting. Like usually when I see like a very, very crowded ticker, I kind of like try to run away, but I just want to see what everybody was talking about. Like basically, if you have Twitter, yeah, you know, we saw a very similar scenario with like Wish and Clove and GameStop and AMC, but basically we've got yet another name that has an insane amount of social media chatter, and according to Ortex, about a 24% short interest. And I saw that, and I was like, all right, let me just take a look at the chart, and a chart's a chart to me. I don't care what the short interest is, you know, what the chatter is. A chart is a chart. I look at the levels, I trade the levels. That's not financial advice. And I looked at the chart, and there were certainly variables. So first off, I'm just going to start like with what I was looking at, and I put out a tweet last night about these levels. But basically, the 4 hours what stood out to me the most. It pretty much has bounced 3 times off this exact 221 level, which used to be resistance for these 2 days. So you got 3 different bounces off of it. On Friday, your first 4-hour candle on Friday for MULN was a bullish engulfing candle. And then on the 1-hour chart, it had like this falling wedge, still has this falling wedge. And then even 4-hour hidden bullish divergence is developing. So I noticed all these variables last night. And today, right off the rip, it was at the top of my watch list. I'm sure a lot of other people at the top of their watch list. And at the open, I actually thought it was going to gap up like 20% based on how many people were talking about it. And I saw it was only up 1%. So yeah, I got into some calls. I think I got into 2.5 strikes myself. I'm still holding it. I don't think I sold any of them. I could have sold them for some nice profit, but I just held it. Yeah, I got into 2.5 calls. And then a little bit later, not too much later, I got into like calls like again, like towards the open, 2.5 calls, and then I alerted. Again, I don't like alerting like the same exact strikes. Just some people are weird about stuff like that. Even though most of the options, apart from something like MULN, is like a bit like something like the SPY or like Twitter or IWM, where it literally doesn't matter. But I alerted slightly different options. They were $3 calls I alerted here. In premium, those were 18 cents. They went up to 28 cents at the high of the day. So yeah, we could kind of break down the trade, but it was pretty much what I just told you, kind of the same exact analysis. And I also did notice like a cup and handle intraday. Let me scroll up a little bit here. Oh, this was a Twitter put from this was Friday, I think. Yeah, we had all this. Oh, even the 30-minute had this supply line breakout and then back tested the breakout on the 30-minute. Okay, so those were levels I noticed, and then yeah, I alerted them at what time? It was pretty good timing, honestly. I alerted them at 9:44 a.m. 14 minutes after the open. I alerted the MULN calls. Today's the 11th, right? So it was like right over here. So the MULN calls were alerted pretty much like right here. Like literally the candle before this big candle. I think I actually like talked about that candle right there. Where did I say what a candle? This was at 10:12. Where was the 10:12 candle? Oh, that was much later. Never mind. So yeah, they were alerted in this area, and then I think probably around over here they went up 55% since the alert. Pretty cool. But actually it had a little bit of a fake out intraday. It had this cup and handle, right? And it broke out, but again, this is why we always talk about candle close confirmation. That's why I always say, for example, like I did say today, it's testing a breakout. I don't know if it's shared to the Discord. I might have only shared on Twitter. Let me take a look. I said the cup and handle was developing, and then later on I retweeted this, so I didn't share in the announcement channel, but I said, if you go back to my Twitter, I said it's testing a cup and handle breakout when it was at like 276. Never said it broke out. But it was testing it and it never confirmed it. Let me see if I can just pull up the tweet really quickly. And then I did say that it was back under shortly after. There you go. Oh. But yeah, so my first tweet was over here. The price was 262, and then I mean from 262 it went up a very nice amount still. I mean, it went up. This is just me having a really big ego right now, so it's just like the ego segment. I'm gonna do some more analysis in like 20 seconds, but it went up like 9% after that cup and handle tweet. But it was also looking like it could have had some more left to go. It was testing the breakout. Like I said, it was at high of day 284 almost. Said it was testing the breakout, but again, it was only testing. It never confirmed. There were still 8 minutes left for the candle to close, and it closed under, and it did reject the first attempt and it was back under. So yeah, just never, I don't know, it was weird. Honestly, if you would have closed, imagine it closed that candle above 276 and then like back tested, and that would have been pretty nice. But we have to wait until tomorrow to see. So that was the analysis like intraday. It's still kind of just testing the supply line area. I think it's down a little bit after hours on the 1 hour, and then on the daily also, I think it closed right at it, but there was a bunch of different EMAs that lined up here. It's closed slightly above them. When I was looking at this last night and I tweeted about it, it was like down over here. I mean, it closed at like 250-ish, but there was like a bunch of different EMAs that lined up over here, as you can see. So this is like the big area, like all the EMAs, like I mean, honestly, there's not much from here to like $3 that you can like really hold above that level. And then also at, I think it was 276 level for the cup and handle. So yeah, there's MULN. Sorry, it was at a different part of my watch, so I didn't bring it up. But that was the analysis, and of course, 24% short interest. But also, you have to keep in mind, you know, Hindenburg. There's been times where Hindenburg short reports have like mooned a stock, like it's gone up a lot, and there's been times where clov, you know, where it severely dropped the stock, or the stock severely dropped after, coincidentally. But we'll see what happens. Do look at the short report. Do your own research, and look at the company. I looked into the company like very shortly. Those were some pretty crazy. I don't know if they're claims or if those facts. But if you look at the specs for their car, it was actually pretty insane. I was just going through the website like really late last night. But again, do all your own research. Go look at the short report. I just like scroll through the short report. Again, I'm the chart person. Okay, there's risk management. That's where I leave it at. For me, of course, I do, you know, a light amount of DD, but you do your own. And there you go. That's MULN. Oh, there we go. Deso up a nice 3% on the new day. Nice bounce off the lows. There we go. Look at that. I'm telling you, this is a very volatile one. It's only down a few percent now. It was down like 10%, and now it's only down a few percent. This one's moving. It's moving quick. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin's trying to bounce a little bit here too. We'll see what happens. I just said that twice, I think. All right, so CPI numbers tomorrow, and giveaway tomorrow night on stream around 8:45 EST. I will see you there. If you're on the Discord, the link is in the description, so go join the Discord right now. Probably don't join premium tonight if you're planning on it. Maybe just at least wait till tomorrow to give the giveaway a chance, and then if you don't win it, I don't know. So yeah, thank you for watching the stream. Have a good night, and whatever you do, just make sure you're being original, okay? Just be original. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace out.